Hi, my name is Courtney Terry, and this is Arts Alive. My guest today is Angela Manginelli. You're so McMinnville Short Film Festival. You are the director of marketing and community outreach.
Yes.
And a recent board member on the Short Film Festival. And the Short Film Festival has a lot of cool events coming up.
It does. So I joined the team in June. I had been a volunteer prior and then was able to transition into sort of a part-time role with the organization, and we are doing a series of pop-ups. So let's see if I can remember all the dates for them.
Yes.
The first one is going to be a short film showcase of comedy and horror films. That will be at Beerley on Saturday, October 26th at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Tickets are available at the door. Then we have 2 pop-ups that are going to be showing the same films of Native American and Indigenous short films. The first is, Sunday, November 3rd, 2 p.m.
Yep.
Carnegie Room at the library.
Yes.
And then those same films will be shown on Tuesday, November 12th at 3 p.m. at the McMinnville Senior Center. Both of those events are completely free, and we are very, very lucky to have Terry Filer, who is going to be kicking off both of those showcases with a flute performance.
Right, and she has a really cool community group that does native flute performances on a monthly basis.
So I'm very excited to have those 3 events coming up, and then of course our actual full festival, 14th year. Will be February 27th through March 2nd. And all of our events are going to be for the showing of films will be at McMinnville Cinema 10 out near the hospital.
Yes, which I didn't realize 14 years. That's incredible. Congratulations,
Short
Film Festival.
I'm taking that one for everyone that's been a part of it before I arrived.
Since June. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and so the films that they're showing, so these were all films that were featured in last year's, most recent film festival.
Yeah.
And so were these the films that were shown in that block, or are these the winners of the films?
That's a great question. So we're showing films from the past couple of events, so like of festivals. So not just, we have some from this past year, but we also went a little bit further back, so folks can kind of maybe, if they missed it, they get to see something
that's really cool.
They didn't get to see. And there will be some of the winners as well as just those that were featured in that particular block. So for folks that are not familiar with the film festival, we tend to put like films together. So we have comedy and drama block, we have horror, we have Native American Indigenous, we have a local filmmaker block as well. And so that way folks, if they like a particular type of film, can come and see everything that block has to offer.
Yes.
Which I love.
Yeah, well, and since they're short films, it really, watching a block, it's the same as a regular full-length movie, but you get to see just so many different
stories.
Yes, thank you.
Of course, Well, that's what I loved about it, because admittedly, I've lived in McMinnville for 6 years, and I, until this past year, did not know the film festival existed, which is a shame because it's a really wonderful event. And so part of why I was excited to come onto the team is so I can help people like myself that just did not know we exist. And so for folks, if you own a business or have a school or anything like that and you want to have a pop-up event, folks can reach out to me, and I would love to help facilitate that. So we're kind of done with the pop-ups after the 2 in November for this year, because we, as you know, are in the process of receiving submissions. Yay. So all of the films that will be in our festival have to be submitted to us by December 15th.
Okay.
And so what that means is we spend our holiday season watching all of the films. And I can tell you, we already have a record number of submissions this year.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Which is amazing. It does mean we have a lot of movies to watch, or a lot of short films to watch.
Yes.
Which is a very good issue to have. So
right, I would say. And does the board share some Like, do you have like, oh, comedy movies? I know that.
Yes. So I, right now, the one that I'm definitely going to be a part of the selection process for is the comedy block. Depending on how long it takes me to get through all of those,
right.
I will also help with like the College Film Festival submissions are really near and dear to my heart. I was in an improv troupe when I was in college, and I helped to make short films when I was younger. So for me, I have a kindredness with that, with that area. But I'm excited to watch all of them. I mean, when I was volunteering at last year's festival, one of the great things is once the rush of people come and you get them checked in, you as a volunteer get to go and watch the block. And so if you are a fellow film nerd, like, you can't ask for a better volunteering gig.
It's amazing.
It's like you get to meet cool people in the community who also like film, and then you get to go watch films. And so last year I got to sample a lot of different blocks, and it was incredible.
And I think with the pop-ups, that idea of bringing community outreach and bringing, I think a lot of people, when they think film festival, they have this like ivory tower, like hoity-toity, like super, which, I mean, there is an experimental film block that's a lot of fun.
Yes.
But I love that that's not the experience at all.
Correct.
It's just so going into the theater and watching that, like, it's so much fun. And so the idea of being like, you can watch short films from a film festival at a gluten-free brewery downtown or at the library or at the senior center.
Yeah, that's the thing that I have enjoyed most about my role is getting to do these pop-ups. We did one out at Remy Wines earlier in the summer and showcased LGBTQIA stories. And so it was really wonderful to just see folks come from all over the community and from the Portland area, to go to that particular event. We were in the production facility. So it's also like really cool spaces that you normally don't get to watch short films in, which I think is really, really great. And we are definitely going to be doing at least 4, hopefully more, next year. So during 2025, we're going to be doing at least 4. But if I have my way, we'll be doing several more.
I thank you for combining, I'm like, oh, Halloween. Horror block, amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for combining that with the comedy for people like me that really need that emotional regulation. Well, is it the horror first and then the comedy, or is it?
We've interspersed them, but I will say that the horror, all of them have a comedic element to them.
Okay.
And so I am a person that horror is not my go-to genre. I've enjoyed all of them.
Okay.
So if I can make it through, I have confidence that you can as well.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Yes. And it's cool because a lot of them are dealing with larger, societal issues or problems that the filmmakers are trying to kind of give a commentary on, but they're doing it through the lens of horror and horror comedy.
Yes.
So it makes it a really interesting sort of way to approach the topic that is sort of non-traditional.
And also just having that wide variety of different filmmakers and different filming styles, and it'll look totally different.
There is one of the things I appreciate is it's a very accessible film festival. I was moved by how many of the filmmakers sort of already, in a short period of time, like we're together for a weekend, right? They develop friendships. It's almost like what I imagine going to summer camp is like. I didn't go to summer camp as a kid, but I imagine it's like we all are here for this sort of common goal, and we have a weekend where we get to watch a lot of films and kind of hang out together. And folks have definitely stayed in contact, and it's really lovely for members of the community also to get to meet the filmmakers. They're very accessible. They're we're all sitting in the same theater, right?
Yeah.
There's one screening theater, and so you get to kind of see the same faces multiple times, and you're like, oh, actually, that person is the director of this film, or they were the writer on it, and they're hanging out with us, audience members as well, which is cool.
Like that kind of access you don't Like,
you don't get that.
You don't get it everywhere.
That's true.
Which is part of what makes the McMinnville short film so wonderful.
Yes, I agree.
And then so we'll do the comedy horror block on the 26th,
Correct.
and then the Indigenous categories at the library and the senior center.
Correct.
And so in terms of the submission process for those, I mean, is it short film nerds are everywhere, and they show up in community.
Yes.
Is that like just sending that out along the networks, or?
Yeah, I mean, part of what I do with my role is I co-manage our Instagram account.
Excellent.
And I'm constantly trying to get the word out that we exist. If you are a Yamhill County resident, you can submit a film for free.
Yes.
All you need to do is email films@mcminnvillefilmfest.org. or visit our website and go through the channel there. We use Film Freeway as our sort of uploading site. Nothing that people need to worry about. It's just you go to the McMinnville Short Film Festival site, you click on Submit. It's going to take you to our Film Freeway page. And we have, this year we've expanded the festival to include a screenplay competition for the first time ever, which I'm very excited about. Jonathan Raymond is going to be the judge for that. So folks can submit again up till December 15th. And 3 screenplays will be selected to receive, some sort of feedback from Jonathan. And then one person will have a one-on-one consultation with him to be able to get, and he's done, not only, he's a writer, but he's also done screenplay writing and adapted his own works for the screen. So I think that's a really cool opportunity.
Such a value, that's a very valuable prize.
It is, and it's open. One of the things that I love is that we have representation in the film festival from here in Yamhill County, but we also have folks that are premiering their short film from around the globe. And so if you are coming to the film festival for the first time as an audience member, you are going to see stories of all different shapes and sizes from people of all different lived experiences. And I truly think there is something there for everyone, no matter what you're into and what your sort of area of expertise or interest is. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
Yes, there's just so much. And you've gotten a lot of support from the Oregon Film Foundation,
yeah, I believe they're a foundation, yes. So Oregon Film is actually co-sponsoring a $10,000 Pacific Northwest Indigenous Filmmaker Grant.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, deadline, December 15th.
Okay.
If you take nothing else away, all of the deadlines, all of the things are due December 15th. But they are helping us to continue to elevate and showcase Native American and Indigenous stories. We've been partnered with the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde for more than a decade now, and so this is a way for us to continue that work and kind of open it up a little bit. So 50% of the production has to take place in Oregon. It can go to either a single director or a team of folks. And it can be in any stage of production. So if folks are working on a script right now and they've got an idea, great. If you're in production, fantastic, submit your idea. And the hope is that we will be able to help an Indigenous filmmaker to further their work, with the goal being that they will show their short film at our festival sometime in the future.
Yes. At a pop-up event.
At a pop-up event and at the film festival. So
and in terms of the Indigenous film block, it's is that one kind of like less comedy or horror and more like whatever the filmmaker? Are the films a lot about specifically Indigenous experience, or are they from Indigenous filmmakers?
That's a great question.
Both. All of the above.
A little of column A, a little of column B.
Great.
All of the films also have, there are definitely comedic moments. There are very heart-wrenching moments in them. The common thread is that they are sharing Indigenous stories. So some of the filmmakers themselves are Indigenous or Native American, and others are passionate about that community and wanting to tell their stories in collaboration with members of that community. So again, it depends on the year and on the submissions. I have not yet watched for this year, but I know historically we've had a really great mix of folks.
And will on the 3rd at the library and the 12th at the senior center, would those also be the kind of like more recent versus a mix
Yes.
of all different from years
Excuse me.
past?
Yes, so it'll be, I would say easily from the past 5 years.
Okay.
So one of the things that we do with these pop-up events is we have to reach out to the filmmakers and get their permission, obviously, to showcase their works. Very important. For this year's submissions and going forward, we have a little checkbox that the director or the person submitting the film can indicate, yes, I would like to have it, available for use at other sort of pop-up events, but we did not have that historically. So we are reaching out to the filmmakers, getting their sign-off and their blessing, and then being able to showcase their stories. So we are pulling from not only the most recent festival, but also a couple years back as well.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, Heather, our executive director, is the one. Heather and Shannon, both on the staff, do an incredible job of selecting and reaching out. Heather she is a filmmaker, so
she knows the right people.
She knows. She speaks film, and so she reaches out and connects with all the directors and gets lets them know what the event is, and then she is the one that actually edits them all together and puts them in the running order. So
cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a lot
really
of behind the scenes.
Yeah, she does a lot of behind the scenes work for her and Shannon both.
As do you.
Try
Angela,
to, yes.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing about all the pop-ups. So we'll have the comedy horror showing will be at Beerly Brewing on Saturday the 26th at
Correct.
6
6
o'clock.
p.m.
Tickets
Yes.
at the door.
Tickets at the door, yeah.
And then Sunday,
November 3rd at 2 p.m. in the Carnegie Room.
the library.
At the library. And then Tuesday, November 12th at 3 p.m. at the McMinnville Senior Center.
So, and wonderful. So many ways to catch the film festival and get involved.
Yes.
Angela, thanks again so much for
Thank
your
you
time.
for having me.